Validation. What?
Validation. You got to get those entities.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Cashflow Digital.
Forgot where we were, didn't you?
Yeah. I started stuttering. It's not often I do that, but Cashflow Digital. Check out ODYS if you're interested in aged domain names, if you're launching an affiliate website. And you can also check out NFG2022.com underneath Brad, which is going on the is it the 25th?
Yeah.
The day after Funnel Hacking Live in Florida. So that is what NFG 2022.
That's going to be fun. The case study that I put together, Otis plus a Fiverr gig, and it's already getting like 800 impressions a day in GSC, just indexed. Like I just put it through GSC last Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's getting clicks, so I'm going to throw just AdSense on that bad boy and see what kind of revenue I can make. So,
can you tell us what niche, or is that a secret?
It's a bigger CPC niche. So if you go out and you search for top, CPC niches or best niches for AdSense, you could probably figure it out. But it's how far I'll narrow it down. Cool. It's not health.
Cloud computing, dude. I remember doing AdSense for cloud computing like a motherfucker.
Yeah. We were just doing were you just doing primarily like location pages back in the day? I guess it didn't matter with what you were doing.
No, we were just doing a lot of that was all paid traffic.
Yeah, that's true.
It was all arbitrage. It looks like Pierre.
The Blue Nose Meanie, I won't mention his name. He's making I think he's got a site up to like $8,000 a month in AdSense. So
that's a lot of money from AdSense, man.
It is, yeah. It's a near me site from back in the day. I said, I think you have the most successful near me site in all of Angel's course. So,
dude, is it from back then?
I think so, yeah. That's
I was going through domains the other day and I saw so many near me domains. I'm like, I remember that campaign. Oh shit.
I have one still up and it's making anywhere from 500 to 1,000 a month, but it's
funny, dude. So it's funny how they worked and how they work. What's interesting is that we did office hours last week, and as we were doing it, I found a page ranking that had no content, right? And I sent Brad a screenshot this week after, it'd been like 4 days. Trash paraphrase content with a shit image.
It's just straight up Cobot, right?
Yeah, just based off of an actual data pool, and then finding which competitor would be the best one to basically take. Yeah, exactly, borrow. And I said, it looks like adding content can help you move from, page 2 or so, page 3 to page 1, dude. So I learned something that I should put content on my pages, dude.
It was the 2015 theme or something on there too.
It's a matured, it's literally a mature group of pages that are targeted. So it's like a mature cluster that's edging quite a bit of linking.
Oh, you're edging the shit out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost to the point of messy.
I've been talking to Mr. Chris.
You've been talking to him?
Yeah.
About what?
Lovely things. Florida.
He's always lovely.
Some fun shit he's doing too.
Nice.
Are we talking about
hacker?
Chris?
What's that?
Are we talking about the same Chris?
Yeah.
I hope not, but probably.
But
we're gonna have fun. It's gonna be good.
We rank the opposite way. So we'll push foreign domains all the time, or at least in the system, the plugin. You'll push foreign domains with foreign languages with English. So I would assume
it does work.
It would go back the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting really good at. So the thing is like if you've been going through any of our stuff lately, we're talking about how the modifiers are slightly different in different markets, but the general overall theme of a topic, just because the word is different or a different language, doesn't mean they can't associate that language with the actual theme or topic. So your market might be slightly different, but at the same time, you are pushing in themed and topical page rank at that point.
Yeah. So, and also, I like to look at the spammier niches to see if something will work, because if it's working there, it should work in the easier niches. So go do some quick keyword research in casino or something like ultra tough. Download their anchor text portfolio and look at how many foreign terms they're linking with in their anchor. So
I was really tempted to tell you that when you were asking about someone yesterday, Craig, that like, yeah, no, he's a super bad dude. Just fucking no, that's funny. That'll be interesting. But yeah, no, you're coming in September though, right? You're going to be in the States. Awesome.
Yes,
Very cool.
I will be there. So yeah, 100%.
I'm not even going to tell anyone about the event. I'm just going to, you and I can hang out.
We can just go hang out.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you since 2019, dude.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting out there, and I'm going to be potentially going to Terry Samuels' event.
That's the mansion one, or that's a different one?
It's a different one.
So he decided not to do the mansion and then do a different one?
I think he's doing both probably, right?
Nah, the guys had some form of falling out. So
he's doing the one with Web 20 Ranker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one, Mike.
Isn't Web 20 Ranker like Back to Mark or whatever, Luxembourg or local something?
It used to be, but I don't know who owns it now. But yeah, they were advertising for it. That one looks like a pretty good event. Brock's going to be there, right?
Yeah, Brock, Molino, all of these kind of guys are going to be there. So potentially going to go to that on the 14th. I'll then probably jump in, have a look at funnel hacking, join you guys, and then I'll go to the mansion.
Yeah.
And it'll be best when you join us. Don't worry.
If we're not there, it's no big deal.
You're a sport, Craig. You just get passed around.
Are you bringing your whole family out, dragging them around the U.S.?
I asked him that yesterday. He's like, "No, my wife will kill me."
Nah, the wife's not up for it, man. So I am also due back. So I get asked to speak at Dory's event in November as well.
You're not just going to stay through November?
Nah. I wish I could, but nah. So I might be back in November as well. So
nice. Hers is live this year, I assume.
Yeah,
I think it was last year too.
Yeah, I couldn't make it last year live. I had to do it online because
I know Clint's going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't get in because of Biden. Speaking of Biden, did you see what one of these Maps fuckers did?
No.
Did they do another?
I'll send you a screenshot. I can't remember if I sent it to Mike or not, but someone went in and dropped a pin exactly where he fell on his bike and called it Brandon Falls. Like it's a monument or something. Like it's a natural.
Rad, dude.
I was like, which one of you motherfuckers that I know did this? I showed it to my wife. She's like, oh.
I had a partner with Jordan once that did some stuff with Maps. This was like 10 years ago, maybe.
Is that the guy that went to prison?
Well, this was like the Secret Service and the CIA, and it was not a good situation, dude. It was a really bad situation because he was intercepting calls for the government, dude.
Fuck's sakes!
Why?
Easy.
There's enough money to be made.
He made a play off of it, but also there were some substances involved, and
people just get off on that shit. I feel like
it's weird
because it's something you shouldn't do. They just do it. So whatever.
Oh man. Anyway, we have a quick. Oh no, we answered Pierre Luigi.
No, we had another one too, though. Henrik. Different e-commerce site content rate. No, it's all the same. What we do is look at your term. Look at the like Mike always says, pull the data. See what kind of pages are ranking, and that's what you typically want to go after. We've had tremendous success in the e-commerce realm with just content and linking on the blog, and then you put banners. You essentially become your own display network back to that product. Like we took a hair growth supplement company, took them. They had like all these posts that were kind of mismatched, and we talked about clustering back in the day. So we went in and clustered them by hand, went through them with cognitive, and we took them from 8 to, did it get up to 120?
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 to 120,000 a month strictly through SEO. So
Yeah,
they have Facebook and all that other shit too.
Internal, really, clustering for the most part.
Yeah.
So for e-commerce needs to tie directly into your strategy. Like, there's factors in there that you want to take into consideration when you're building the campaign for e-commerce sites. And some of that is that you need to be able to shift everything around if you're out of stock, and because you're not going to be wanting to sit there out of stock. There's just different things you need to do with e-commerce.
Yeah, it's a problem ranking a product page individually too.
You need to move that and shift the ranking, and so that's really dictated by what you're seeing literally in your search. Like, how are the titles being rewritten? Like, you need to pay attention to what Google is doing in the SERP you're targeting in that market, so that you understand, where the optimization points need to be for that market, and then how to kind of do the internal and external linking strategy. But
basically, when you boil it all down, it's all the same. Just take a peek.
Yeah, it is. It's always the same, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'm quitting SEO. It's all the same. It hasn't changed in 10 years. So I'm done.
Done.
What did Clint say at the last NFG event? He's like, if you fuckers aren't using this shit by now, like, you'll never use it. Talking about schema and shit. He's like, I'm done teaching schema.
And then he's been teaching it.
Is that what he's still teaching?
Yeah.
Don't say his name. He might pop up.
He always pops up when you talk about him. He's like good at that.
Do you use Dory's link network at all? Someone asked me about it recently, Craig. I didn't know if you used it or not.
I've used it.
I know Clint does.
It's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Super old sites in there. It's actually, if I remember correctly, it's not bad at all. But you want to use it in a certain way, It's definitely got its place.
I think for me, the person that stood out for me when I was at that event in Anaheim was Dory wanting to automate the shit out of everything, man. Like, that's all I kept hearing her talking about. Like, if I can't automate that shit, I'm not interested.
Yeah, she's good at getting shit done like that.
Yeah. So smart stuff, but yeah, I've not tried it. I'm white hat, so
yeah, me too.
Big time.
That's why I quit SEO. You just can't make it as a white hat anymore. So I'm gonna sell. What should I sell?
In Orlando is the last time anyone has a chance to talk to you ever.
Yeah. Witten's gonna move down. Did you hear that?
He's gonna move down to Orlando?
No, he's gonna move to North Carolina.
Oh, he's gonna move to North. Is he leaving California really this time again?
He says he is. Well, again, yeah.
Is Witten that fake guy?
He's not fake, bro. That's dirty juice, dude.
I was like, hey, I talked to Whitney yesterday, and Kelsey's like, is that the small person? Yeah, that's it.
He's small, but he's feisty, dude.
Oh, he'll kick your ass. Yeah, if you're not prepared, he would. Yeah, black belt in jiu-jitsu, Craig. He'll fucking rip your head off. It's crazy. He says he's been lifting. He's probably preparing to see me in Orlando.
He's a pretty dude. I saw a dude that looked like him the other day.
He's the best looking dwarf.
Pretty ugly dude.
Do you guys have a YouTube channel?
NFG SEO, baby.
Not as good as this one, though.
Oh, no. We don't put as much time or effort into it because we're lazy.
Yeah, they're lazy bastards.
I hate doing this shit. I'm not even wearing pants.
Pierre Giorgio. I'm not even going to try and say that again. We'll just call you Zotti. But he has another question, a difficult one to answer. But since when does Google notice a backlink, assuming this link will push? What is the average maximum time in which the push occurs?
It depends on the money site and the external link site.
Yeah, I'd say on the actual quality of the page is a big indicator of what it's going to do and how quickly.
Naked HD's back
in the index, but I don't even pay attention, to be honest. I mean,
I know it goes pretty quick though, especially if you hit it if you're pretty direct, like the fiber gig for a local
It's pretty damn fast. And I think one of the problems is that people literally like they're building links that are never going to get crawled and indexed or counted, or they're building links that are going to take forever to be crawled. Or, I mean, there's a lot that's to that. You know, if you're building on something that's already in the index on a page that they're coming back and hitting every day, then that's a pretty quick fucking push.
Yeah, it all depends on your crawl budget, I guess, would be the correct answer on both sites, on the one you're linking to and from.
And then time, like honestly, time is really important. That's why like one of the ways I judge link quality is like, if I'm going to build links in 6 months and in 12 months, what's the percentage of link loss? Like a lot of the edits you buy in the market, they'll be gone in fucking 4 months, and you're not
Especially from Craig
be out too, you know, which is just useless at some point. That means you're paying a lot more for the links than you think you are, because you're losing them very quickly instead of having them sit and actually mature and do what they can actually do once they have some age.
How many citations do I need to build to rank for a national term, Mike?
Let's see.
20, 30?
I have an ebook that might tell me that. Hold on. I brought an ebook today because it has all the ranking factors, and it has something about
all of them, all 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever.
Yes. I have all the ranking factors here. And where is local link citation? Okay, here we go. Citations. The claim is that they're no, that's just that they're a ranking factor. Man, you need 1,000.
1,000?
Yeah.
If your competitor has 1,000, then you should have 1,002, I think.
Yeah, but they have to be edged better.
Well, yeah, of course. You're going to edge your backlinks. You ever take time to try and index your backlinks, like for the citation type stuff? Of course, the PBNs and edits will index anyway. But
go ahead, Craig.
The big thing with citations for me is getting them indexed. The fella I use, he spins the descriptions and stuff, because the biggest mistake with citations is just repeating the same shit.
Over and over.
That's the same like directories, basically. Like I remember back in the day, like mashing them directories with spun descriptions everywhere and titles. You know, just same thing. That's all they are.
I'll spin them for you.
Literally, for me, a citation is just a directory link, but that's it. You know, we just call them something different now.
But it needs to be indexed, because Google is looking for a number of different occurrences to verify you're a legit business. So
you can do some magical shit with your site once you get all your indexes or all your citations indexed too. So
you can do magical shit with your business partner when you travel.
I can.
That's
why I'm quitting SEO. I'm tired of
we're traveling, baby.
Yeah.
I like that shirt color on you. It's very handsome.
Thank you. I bought it. It was in a pack. I had a black one, this one, and a white one. So I like this one. It's my favorite.
It's good burgundy, bro.
It's kind of a Deadpool-ish. You know,
it enhances your skin tone.
Thank you.
Your eyes.
What do we think of the shirt that Mike's wearing?
Is that boats?
Yeah, it's got anchors, bro.
Yeah, it's nice. Nautical. He got it at Old Navy.
That
you know that if you see someone in camo pants and a Hawaiian shirt, that they're a member of the Boogaloo Boys and they're a militia?
That makes sense.
Nice. Anyway, Heinrich has another question. What would you say the maximum backlink to do from one referring domain? One? Or do you?
Yeah, I mean, if you're controlling it, you can do, one.
If you want to be lazy, do a site wave.
I honestly would just look at what the ratios are in your market and just not overthink it. And if you can do 1-to-1, do 1-to-1. But I will go push a second backlink on a page if I feel like I want.
Have you tested using H3 as an anchor lately?
Nope.
I not to see any difference or anything. I know we have them somewhere, just like we have.
We have them from back in the day. I just haven't talking about like specific linking patterns.
No, but it'd be interesting actually. I was looking at some stuff today with Addy and shit, and I think that there's something to be said about certain optimization points and connections like that.
Yeah, and back to this question too. Instead of linking to the same target multiple times, I'd rather include it in a cluster and link to either multiple targets on the same site, on the same money page. So instead of linking to
the backlink profile, like
or the backlink profile,
or the local. Like, so if you want to get power out of it multiple times, one way to do that is to, like Brad said, link to the target page, potentially the home page. One
put an about.me up and then cluster it, link to that, and then it powers everything up.
So like the plugin NFG Secret, that's kind of one of the things that I think it still does, is that you're going to
it's not a one-to-one every time, but for the paid accounts, they will link.
You're going to be hitting, and you want to maximize your link spend. So if you can promote a tier 1 link and your target at the same time, then you should do that.
This naked dude's relentless.
Yeah, the naked dude's relentless.
He hit us the other day too, dude.
Did he?
I think I know who it is now.
I know who it is now.
Live RL.
Nah, it's not him. Some douchebag that doesn't like you guys very much, and some has a hatred for me, and apparently the same dude wants.
I don't know who would dislike us.
Dude, I've never met this guy. I don't know why he dislikes me, but
you know him, Mike?
I don't. I was teasing. I don't know who he is.
Oh, I don't know. Well, do I know him, Craig?
Nah, you probably don't. I sent you a message last week, remember? And you're like, it's always these broke guys that do it.
That guy? Okay.
I've got a feeling it's that guy. But I was speaking to Jordan about him, and Jordan went, that guy he's not going to stop until he puts me in jail. Like, it's it is what it is.
That's why I'm going SEO. Naked guy wins.
I remember this one dude is actually a family member, and like he did his SEO by reporting people. He was just this like white hat dude that
I saw a YouTube video. A guy that's what he was telling everyone to do. The bald guy on YouTube that acts like a guru. It's probably the naked guy. Go on though. Sorry.
Naked dude is doing outreach. Maeve is saying it's her.
Maeve is the naked dude.
Yeah, Maeve, are you the naked dude? But Ryan,
they got that turned on them, didn't they, Mike?
What's that?
The person doing the white hat stuff, just reporting people.
They got one got turned on him, and one just got hit with updates and decided that, hey, I understand why people don't follow the terms of service because it doesn't protect you from shit.
It doesn't.
I've got a white hat guy, and I stole a famous politician's domain name before. Well, when I say stole it, acquired it, and
you bought it at auction, probably, right?
Yeah. And the dude still, like, I've released it to the paper, so I got some press round about it. I've spoken about it at the last fucking 3 years worth of conferences I've been at. Yet the guy keeps telling people, "Oh, look at this dodgy guy! Look what he's done! He's stolen this and all this kind of stuff." I'm like, dude,
you paid for it. That's not stealing.
Or what?
What was that? Sorry,
the image stuff.
Nah, not the image stuff.
Gotcha.
I took a politician's domain name. That was it.
Just the domain name. Yeah. So you bought the domain name that expired. Yeah. It's not stealing.
Yeah. But apparently I'm a big bad boy for it. So
you're just a big bad boy because you're rad, dude.
You need a spanking.
But have you ever had someone call you like Scottish or something? Because I'm quite offended that Ryan's called me American.
I don't know. Yeah.
I know.
I don't know why you would think Mike is from a different country. He looks American.
Yeah. Or
that anchor shirt.
With the undershirt, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you guys doing to index a new site? His site's 3 months old, getting 500 traffic from Bing, but having a hard time to get anything from Google.
Is it just? I guess is it just not indexing? Have you run it through GSE and all that shit? Check tech.
Haven't.
Yeah, because usually Google, as horrible as they are a little bit better than Bing as far as indexing internal pages.
And if you're and if you're indexed and you're getting like impressions and they're just staying very, very far back in the result set, then you're not optimized for Google.
Yeah.
So I'd look at that is where I'd start.
Maybe add more media too to the.
Make sure you're not disallowing them. Make sure that there's traffic at all, and just look and see if you're optimized for the term set.
And they probably submit it to the Ask Jeeves search engine as well. That always works well.
Dude, there was a lot of people using that for link building back around 2015. Like the image section of Jeeves was pretty fun to dick around with at one point. But
it's dead now. It's not even around anymore, is it? Or is it?
Is Ask around? No, I don't know. It's there. I don't know if it's a search engine or they sold it for $100, but
yeah, Ask.
It's ask.com is what they changed it to.
Oh, really? Ask.com?
Ask Jeeves.
So they're still powered by Google. Like the ads are there. So I think they're still powered by Google personally.
Yeah.
And you know you can get an ask.com email address?
I have one because I'm cool.
I figured.
Always a way. Craig Mullins is here though. But guys, you are slow off the mark with questions today. If you've got questions, ask us, or Mike's going to pull out his ebook.
I will pull out my ebook and
What was that? That was my ebook.
That was my ebook.
What's the number one ranking factor per your ebook?
My ebook was, let's see. I don't know if it's broken down like that. Let's just see. Fact or fiction, dude? I'll ask, you tell. Our 301 redirects a Google ranking factor.
The links from the 301 redirects probably would be.
Depends on, that could be twisted in so many ways.
I know, like what are we talking about? Like 404s versus 301s? That's a twisty one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very twisty.
So I would say that it's just technology, personally. I would say.
I wouldn't say it's a direct ranking factor, no.
Yeah. I think you should still manage redirects carefully because that's what they said. Soft 404s are these ranking factors. The claim is that
Ryan said you've got to edge your 301s.
You do have to edge them. How many can you edge together?
If you wanted to push Naked Guy's back, he just heard it. Every time you say edge, he's going to start going.
So I think 404s can absolutely affect your ranking for multiple reasons personally. And one of them is if you're sending a bunch of links to 404s and having the thing set up correctly or not following that page rank correctly, you have issues. So, and they say, Google says that they don't affect your site's ranking.
404s or 301s?
404s, and they say that they don't affect your ranking, and 301 redirects are preferred to soft 404s.
Yes.
Ooh, is AdSense a Google ranking factor?
Having
that AdSense is a ranking factor if you have it on your site.
AdSense is a ranking factor,
right?
I mean, it would make sense, but I doubt it.
I
was your website down, if anything?
It's not. I'm just going to say that, but we can pretend. How about alt text?
Yes.
Yep.
Let's see. What do they say? Alt text. There's no specific mention. It's clear that if you want your images to appear in Google image results, then you do need to craft descriptive, non-spammy alt text. So based on the comments made by Google representative plus all the supporting information we found, they're calling it as a confirmed Google ranking factor.
I like to get creative. Like if it's a picture of a plumber, I'll put in the alt text, picture of plumber in Minnesota with his ass crack out, and see if anyone ever notices.
Dirty juice. Dirty juice.
Dirty.
Is AMP a Google ranking factor?
I don't think so. I fucking hate AMP.
Did you ever implement AMP?
No. It seemed like a waste of fucking time. I just let other people tell me if it works or not.
Yeah.
I had the first plugin out for AMP in WordPress.
Was that through Sue and them?
No, I did it with Marco. I think they still
Marco.
have it in like the whatever the Hangout thing is. AMP is not a ranking factor. Google has confirmed that it is not a ranking factor. Further, it no longer has unique advantages that could impact click-through rates because it's no longer required and icon driven. So that I completely agree with. What about anchor text? Is anchor text a ranking factor?
Yes. Craig's secretary called it.
Never. No. I'm kidding. They confirm anchor text is used in search rankings as a way to gain deeper understanding of pages. The strength of anchor text as a ranking factor is nowhere near the level it was before Penguin when sites that's bullshit. But yes, it's a ranking factor. What about authorship?
Yes, especially in certain niches.
So they're saying the claim is when determining quality of a page, and eat things.
Eat things.
Eat
the rich.
So agent rank is actually something that has been filed and there's absolutely ways they're training. Like, so the quality rater guidelines focus on it and if the quality rater guidelines focus on something, then we know they're training that somewhere and they're using it for something because that's what that shit is. They go out, they do their thing and they are training these SERP results. So they say unlikely that it's a factor. I would say that it's a factor in certain cases and certain markets potentially. But that also can tie in directly to the page content because certain things need to be mentioned to trigger that shit. So next one, what about BBB in the US? Is the BBB a ranking factor?
Well, I feel like that helps. That's a strong citation that you can't just go out and get. So I would say yes.
So they say, well, the importance of trustworthiness for Google rankings is well established. There's no evidence that their algorithms consider BBB. So I guess that what they're saying is BBB directly itself, like if we were go to like DMOZ or something, like specific websites being a direct ranking factor. So bounce rate, is it a Google ranking factor, Craig?
I think engagement metrics are. Bounce rate, no. I would say they can't really. Bounce rate can be, if that was a ranking factor, I think a lot of people would be screwed because everyone's bounce rate is going to be manipulated by user behavior and stuff like that. So I think it would be ridiculous for that to have any great weight. So I think engagement signals are, but I'm not sure bounce rate. I wouldn't believe that bounce rate was.
I agree, and I think they're going to say no. And one of the things is like there's a bounce rate that's good in one market, there's a bounce rate that's not in another market. And if you have something where it's a one-time use, like you're doing some sort of calculator or you're doing like data delivery, kind of like a position zero result type of thing, you should have a high bounce rate. They're just it's too much of a funky thing to really rely on. In my opinion, and they say, come on, where are you? Definitely not a ranking factor. With big industry experts like Rand and Backlink putting their weight behind bounce rate as a ranking factor, confusion is understandable. So they're saying basically that a lot of people have dropped their shit behind it, saying that bounce rate is, so it gets confused. But I don't think it is either. I wouldn't look at it that way at all. How about breadcrumbs defined as navigation that indicates the page's position in the site hierarchy?
It's internal linking at the very least.
Yeah, it is. And do they count as a ranking factor?
If internal links do, then breadcrumbs do.
Yeah, I think that they absolutely help to categorize pages and potentially pass internal topic and page rank. So yeah, I would absolutely say so, especially if you're in certain kind of navigation types or structures, you might want to use them. Canonical are those ranking factors, Craig.
What was that, sorry?
Canonicals.
I mean, if it's fucked, then it would be a de-ranking factor.
I mean, I think it will help you. Would it directly be a ranking factor? No. Would you, obviously, That's a yes or no answer. Yes or no answer again. It depends on what way you want to argue that. I think they can obviously help Google establish what the authority page is, and stuff like that. Yeah, but no, just by adding them, is that going to make a major needle move? The answer would be no. But I think they are an important part of the.
There was there was some stuff with like localization and things that happened with this last update or the last major. So it's not I think that it's a directive to kind of help your crawl and to kind of do things properly. There's been many hacks with it over the years, different ones, but I wouldn't call it a ranking factor either.
Nah.
Chrome bookmarks, are they a Google ranking factor? Google keeps record of the bookmark pages in its own server, uses it as a boosting factor. Google collects user browsing data from Chrome. Is our bookmarks a ranking factor?
No chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't
There's
see
a Fiverr gig where you can order a bunch of those.
Right. The only ranking factor I can see is that if you have an extension where you've injected a redirect and you're shoving people over to a page and sending traffic there, then you got a 301 and bookmark and plugin that is a ranking factor. Maybe. No.
But just general bookmarking, no chance.
Now, if they use a bookmark and hit your page and you have a user on your page, it's not the bookmark necessarily. That's marketing, I would say, rather than ranking.
Yeah.
Click depth. Is click depth a ranking factor? So click depth is the number of clicks it takes to go from a home page to another page. We can assign numerical values. So 1 link, 1 depth, 2 depth, 3 depth. 2018, John Mueller addressed click depth explicitly. He said that they place a small amount of attention to how easy it is to find content on a website. And would you say click depth is a ranking factor?
I'd say clustering is a ranking factor, not necessarily click depth.
I think it's deceptive. I agree. I think it's absolutely deceptive. I think there's many factors that can show them what is important about a page or what's important on a website. And your navigation is part of that. I mean, if you're doing things properly, and depth can be an indicator of how your page rank flows. So there's things about it, but they say probably, I don't necessarily think so. No. But what do you think, Craig?
I mean, I'm with Brad. I think click depth in its own right, and what the terms that they're talking, I would say no. But topical clustering is, and it's a common mistake that we see, that people are just not doing it properly. And people don't do internal linking properly and stuff like that. These are just like, all I can really say to people is, obviously, I always use a diagram when I'm talking in my mastermind, but let's say podcast is the core topic. And then you've got comedy podcast, business podcast, self-help podcast. That's your subtopics. That's your cluster, which internally link to the main podcast page. That is how it should be done. You should be building that, building another, building another, building another. That's just normal practice for me. But, and if that's all done properly, are you going to have issues with click depth? No.
No, you don't. So it's when you get in and you do a crawl and you see a site that has a long chain in their crawl map that is like just straight down in a long chain, 14.
And we see them in tech audits. Yeah.
That's not the click depth. That is the internal structure. That is the internal linking structure, not the depth that is an issue. If you've got an important page that you can't get to because there's a problem in the navigation, there's no page rank passing. There's no connection. There's a lot there, and I agree 100%. Yeah. Click-through rate, is it a Google ranking factor?
Yes.
Massive fan of CTR.
Yep. Was looking at some today. It's a definite ranking factor, and this says it's definitely not a ranking factor. I'm like, okie dokie.
Where in the Chris Palmer did you get this ebook?
This is Keyword Heroes ebook.
Keyword heroes or gyros?
Hero, keyword hero.
Keyword hero. Is that on Amazon?
No, they're like a keyword tool, I believe.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time, and that's absolutely not true. I don't agree with them on it at all right there. That's silly. How about Co-Citation? What on earth is Co-Citation?
You tell us.
Basically, it is, the way I define it is you're being associated with something through a page of copy or a backlink. But let's see how they're doing it.
It is a ranking factor.
If my tiny home website gets a link from a leading construction publisher this week and your solar power equipment website gets one from them next week, what does that tell Google? While it's not indicative of a relationship between you and I, it does suggest to search engines that we have something in common. Let's see.
That'd be stretching it.
Yeah.
So I also think that it hits on things like the link graph and seeds and different things. So there's some many factors that go into that, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, the associations, that's the thing about a cluster, group of pages, and the way the bot works, you want to be associated with the right shit. And that's one way to do it, right?
Exactly.
And they said possibly code to text ratio. So code to text ratio means how much code to how much visible text, yada, yada, yada.
I would say
not a ranking factor.
I don't think so. They say definitely not. I don't think it is. I think that it can indicate other issues. Like you don't have enough content, so you're not having enough keyword density, or you're not mentioning enough of the fucking modifiers for the market, but I wouldn't use it as its own ranking factor. Contact information. Is contact information or a lack of contact information a ranking factor? Will it affect your rankings?
I mean, it's going to affect click-through rate, potentially, conversions, all of these kind of things. But lack of contact information, a ranking factor. Is contact information maybe a small trust signal? I'm not so sure, but I think
it could even be looked at it from like a programmatical like data thing, where they know in a market all the top ranked sites have the words "contact us" or something on their page in their footer, and you don't have that. So now you're an outlier, and you're not meant to. Let's say Red Apple contact us is a modifier, or is an engram that can be built out of that. It's really easy programmatically to look and say, okay, this doesn't talk about this. And so just from an on-page optimization standpoint, you could be off. What's up, dude?
From a GMB perspective, most definitely helps having the right contact information on the actual page that you're putting into the GMB.
When you look at when you look at your money or your life, when you look at certain things, like when they're saying that, we need to have some trust from a website, like that can all be analyzed programmatically. And, an expert is a very different thing in every market, right? Brad is an expert at buying burgundy shirts now. He can write a review on a burgundy shirt, make a video on a burgundy shirt, talk about how he bought a burgundy shirt that was really good. And now we know he's an expert on fucking reviewing burgundy shirts. And that's
3-pack. Yeah.
Seriously, like they can look at that. Like if you look at the quality raters guidelines, it will say, the differentiation between what an expert is in different markets. That easily can be looked at and scraped out of a website to say, okay, Brad's mentioning burgundy, he's mentioning cotton and t-shirt, and he's mentioning himself, and he has a video. And we recognize the video and the images as something that's associated with that entity. Like it's all there to fucking easily grab if they want to, but I don't know how much they'd be using it directly in an algorithm, if there is contact information or not. I would just say you want to be like everybody else in that market.
Hey, Craig, could you do me a favor and put burgundy shirt in the title and the description of this video, just to see
burgundy shirt SEO review?
Yeah.
And if we say burgundy shirt a few times, because I am wearing a burgundy shirt, we might be able to rank for a burgundy shirt.
But you need to kind of do it at the start of the video.
Yeah, well, it's too late for that.
Dude, I was doing a test the other day with some live streams in a market, and just it's beautiful, like how you will get like top SERP results for the live stream while you're streaming live. And so there are some clever plays to do with streams and the SERPs. Like if you're doing a full-on marketing campaign, like if you understand your day parting and your market enough, there's some. Really
I've never done a full-on marketing campaign, so I'm not worried.
Well, there's no reason to do them for us. Is content a ranking factor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did have that page ranking and had multiple pages right now ranking without content. But
you added content and it increased your rank.
By content. So I'm just being a dick and playing devil's advocate. But yeah, no, it's definitely a ranking factor, I would say. I would say we need content to be about something, and to be about something is required to rank. Content length is a better one. I like that. Is the content a ranking factor?
No.
Not at all. 100% not.
You don't think?
No. It's not about it's about what's talked about, in my opinion.
If you see something in 800 words, why would you go and write 4,000 or whatever the figure that some guru puts out there as the optimal ranking factor? If you can say it better and more concise in 800 words, then why not fucking do it? I mean, there's loads of arguments where people say Neil Patel ranked for so many keywords. This page ranked for so many keywords because he's got 14,000 words on a blog post. Of course, if you've got more words on there, you've got the opportunity to have more subheaders and
but you also have more of an opportunity to fuck it up.
Yeah, but that is where topical clustering comes in. You do not need to have. Does anyone read a 14,000 word article?
I can't read that much in a week.
Recipes. I was on another recipe site like yesterday or the day before because I was cooking. I was doing some new recipe, right, for the family, and I hate how they have to take advantage of the SERPs, right, or the algorithm right now with getting all the topics in there, because they have to shove it full of copy that I don't ever need to read. And the reason they have to do that is what we're talking about. They have to talk about certain things on that page. They have to mention it or they won't rank.
Well, it's funny because they have to, like, in the titles and everything is so apparent, especially to an SEO, what they're having to do.
Well, and it's funny because we talk about ad position and everything, and dude, they got copy, content, ads all over the place above the recipe, which is why everybody is on the page, yet they rank. So it's like you come in and you look at all these things that all these experts are telling you to do for SEO. And if you're doing SEO, you can look at it and throw it out the window like instantly when you go into a competitive market, right? And that's why it's so important to just grab data out of your SERP and use that. Crawl your competitors, use that. The topical clustering and the siloing Craig's talking about, and then getting into like tighter groups in there, like it all works 100%, and it's what you have to do for SEO at this point, and it will always be, dude. I just think it's gotten easier, man. Don't you think it's gotten easier?
I mean, it is. It's always been relatively easy as far as I'm concerned. Like, I've never found this stuff. I find a lot of SEO is just fucking common sense. Like a topical cluster, why wouldn't you have it like that? Like, why? It's one of those things. So some people find it really difficult. I think it is very straightforward.
It's because they overcomplicate it in their head.
Yeah. Pull up May's comment because she's spot on with what we're talking about. And that's my point, is like we had someone on here, remember they were saying they had 11,000 word article and they had 5 words in the top 10 and hundreds of words, like not, impressions, but no traffic. And that is a big example of, not to be offensive or anything, about rambling on, right? It's not that they're rambling on, they're covering things there that is important to what they're doing. But if you have too much copy and you throw in too many modifiers, you're no longer about red apples. You might be more about like red apple shoes or something, right? You might shift your topical relevancy to something else. So the more you ramble, the bigger you go, the easier it is to shift off of where you need to be. And so, go ahead.
We see the perfect example of that is Neil Patel's "What is SEO" post, where he talks about what is SEO, black and white hat SEO, this, that, the next thing. You could easily get lost in that, and you're like we just want to fucking land on a page that talks about black hat SEO and what the fuck it is. We don't need this, whole 14,000 words. So it's madness.
I'm going to pull the rankings.
Tell us how you really feel, Craig.
Since we're talking and we're on this topic, because this topic is really important, I'm going to pull some ranking real quick for that URL. And I want to see what they have pushed off of, like, back into no man's land, essentially. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so basically, with what's going on right now, they've dropped down for the terms, what is SEO. They've pushed all of that down. Like, one of them has a -5. Wow. There's a lot of drop here for the specific queries that I would say he would be targeting. Not saying that it's a bad page, not saying that it's not going to pull traffic, because it's pulling traffic. But literally, like, that's a brand page at this point, is the way I would look at it. Is that's going to pull more traffic for the brand rather than the actual commercial queries. Yeah. And that is probably, he has something in there in his internal looking structure, because I haven't looked for a while, where those topics you're talking about, Craig, those supports for those topics are pulling that traffic. So he's got a strategy potentially there, but it really is important to stay away from just being long for the sake of being long. Wanted to say that the word and copy length, like looking at that in your tools, has always kind of been a way to eye if there's a problem. So if you see all your pages are one length, and that's what your articles are typically around, and then you see a bunch of stuff that's like much less than that, that's an indicator. Like, you can visually see that it's something you might want to look at. It's not that you're going to go look in there and try to get the same length with everything else, but you can use these things to visualize things quickly when you're doing SEO to know that, hey, there's something here that I might need to look at. Like, there's no, this is the same word length as my template almost. So that means I have a blank page, or this is like the wrong length for a real article. Like, there's just ways to use that to visualize and make shit quicker that are more important, I think, than the actual copy length for ranking. All right. Enough on copy length, I think. What? Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it. Expert has been who squirts water. I do. Core Web Vitals. Our Core Web Vitals a ranking factor.
Like your TikTok that squirts water, Craig.
that was hilarious. I showed my wife that shit.
I had to, as soon as I seen someone else doing it, I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah,
man. Your son in the background was killing me, bro.
Yeah.
I was laughing my butt off, dude.
He's just like, he just couldn't believe, like, she was throwing a pan, because we never had a bucket. So she's thrown like a pan of water over me. But that was the second take. The first time she done it, it was fucked up, and I just burst out laughing when she done it, because it was like, I gave her the opportunity to do it, and she was desperate to do it, and I just burst out laughing because you could just tell there was like proper venom in her throwing the water over my face. But yeah, my little guy was pissing himself laughing.
That's funny.
So
mine just pisses himself, so he's not even laughing when he does it. It's frustrating. Core Web Vitals, do they help?
Core Web Vitals, ranking factor or not?
It's a good way to close a client.
I think no. I'm going to say no. But, you know, does Core Web Vitals impact other things that do help? You know, it's one of those twisty ones. But let me put it this way, does making my website loads in 1.9 seconds, and I have to go in there and tweak it all and get it to what fucking 1 second, is the needle going to move? No, not as far as I'm concerned. So I think Core Web Vitals,
it's a trap, dude.
It's one of the things I'm not a fan
if you go read on their blog, like the developer blog, like you will find out that Core Web Vitals, those 3 things that we see, are just what they threw out in the public, and there's a whole bunch of other shit that goes on under there that come down to the fact that we know we need relevancy and we need authority, basically linking. And then if we are a 1-to-1 match, but somebody has better metrics and they're faster, they potentially might slightly rank better than us in a score. But is it not something I'd worry about unless my site's complete shit, you know?
Yeah.
Most of mine are.
Yeah, that's why the site looks like shit.
That's why they click.
crawl errors and budget. Are crawl errors and budget a ranking factor?
They're a disranking factor, I feel like.
They are absolutely. I can agree with that. They say definitely not. I would say that is something that can affect a lot of stuff that affects.
Have a broken fucking site, see if it ranks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Deep link ratio. For people that don't know, deep link ratio basically is knowing links to your homepage versus links to your internal pages, right? And you can calculate that very easily. And so they're asking if that's a ranking factor. I don't think it's directly a ranking factor.
No.
I would say, yeah, depends.
I would say that links to your posts are good. Links to your articles are good. And I would say that I don't want to be different than my market, but I would say it's not a direct ranking factor. And they're saying it's not, but let's see. Direct traffic. Is direct traffic a ranking factor?
Any traffic's a ranking factor.
They say definitely not. I say bullshit.
I mean, how can you say definitely not on that?
Here's the deal. I can tell you in markets, I've seen certain referrals be beneficial to have. And yeah, they can see this shit. And if they can see it and there's a pattern, then patterns are good. If you're, like I said, be like everybody else in your market. If they all have traffic from a certain place, like if you're in a fucking video game market and you've got Discord traffic and other people don't, there might be something different between the sites and the way they rank. So there are definitely referrers that are important, in my opinion. Disavowal tool, the claim is, the idea is if you get rid of your link profile spam, paid links, and other low quality links, your rankings will directly benefit. Is that a ranking factor?
What was it?
Disavow tool. That's a fucking weird way to say that, because that has nothing to do with your website, dude. If you need to do it to get it back in from a manual and do certain things, do it.
Yeah.
That's how
I mean, I would argue that I've had a partial penalty, and when I've done a disavow, of course, I've seen an increase in rankings. Was doing the disavow is that a regular?
The partial penalty means that was manual, yeah. Yeah, so that's the difference. It's easy to set a flag and remove a flag, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So so let's differentiate this. It might not be an algorithmical ranking factor in the way we think of it, but it's definitely a factor in dampening and manual situations.
Yeah.
I like that one. So definitely not the right answer. Sorry, keyword hero. Domain age. Is domain age a ranking factor?
I would say so.
It says, so the claim here is twofold. The longer Google has had a domain in its index, the more it will benefit your search ranking. And the longer the domain is registered, the more it will benefit your search ranking.
I mean, it's a trust signal, right? So.
Yep. They're going to say definitely not. I'm going to say that if you have a domain that is in an age group of pages and you're getting links from something in an age group of pages, you're doing a way better than not. So I would disagree with them and agree with you, Craig.
I mean, do you think that ODYS sells so many domains and people have so much success leveraging those age domains? If it wasn't a thing, there wouldn't be a business model around it, as far as I'm concerned.
I think you're trying to go specifically at the age number of the domain and how long you have it registered for, rather than the profile around it, I think. But it's still like indexed versus not indexed is a huge thing. And the age of it is a huge thing, how long it's been in the index. The part about registration, I mean, since I've been in SEO, people have said the longer you register something, the better it does. I have no idea if that's true or not. I typically don't register shit for just a year unless it's spam. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it goes down to more how long has it been in the index is more beneficial than when was it registered. But.
Yeah.
Vietnam method does always win. Anywho,
Hey, he signed out and signed back in.
who's
Oh,
that?
it's the naked guy.
He was in the
Oh yeah, naked.
He switched VPSs.
But what the naked person is doing is trying to drive traffic to their website. So fair play to them.
Yeah.
Why not? Any traffic is good traffic when it comes to naked in the naked industry.
You're pretty. Odds are you're going to find someone interested in what you've got to show.
I always get people interested in what I got to show.
I know that's right.
Dude, I think we didn't make it through the book, but we made it through the hour.
Well, that's all that matters.
Last one is domain authority. Is domain authority a ranking factor?
Like straight up Moz's domain authority?
Moz's domain authority, is that a ranking factor?
Nope.
No.
Not at all. All right. On that note, there you go, Rand. Sounds great.
Oh, Rand has a book. Have you ever read it?
No.
Rand Fishkin? He has a book. I'm probably going to grab it at some point and read it.
What is it called? How to switch from SEO to inbound marketing, bankrupt a company, and then go back to SEO?
Mm-hmm. All while maintaining a perfect mustache.
That's funny, dude. Like it was a gamble, but it didn't work.
Something about fish, I feel like. Oh, Lost and Founder.
Oh yeah, the fish, Rand Fish. Where they did
Fish,
the
Painfully Honest Field Guide to the Startup World. Rand Fishkin. Lost and Founder.
I don't know. What's that, dude?
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, his real name's not Rand Fishkin. It's Rand something else. So something like Rand the Router or something. Who chose that name, Fishkin? Surely someone could have picked a better stage name than fucking Fishkin. Like Fishkin.
I thought it was interesting. I thought it was interesting that he's doing the startup thing. But I mean, I guess I do trust people that have had failure more than, everyone that just says they're being successful all the time. So, but you learn a lot from that. Like that shift when he moved away from SEO and moved into inbound marketing and did the whole brand change. That's a big ass learning experience, dude. There was that whole defensible traffic and everyone was scared that SEO was going to die and all this and that. And it's funny because you get all these people that are scared of change.
SEO is dead. All we see is its ghost.
Yeah, like the white hat guy that was reporting everybody we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They're out of the market because it was too difficult. It's too up and down. I don't like it up and down, yada, yada, yada. But
that's how that's
part of what makes it kind of fun, dude.
Yeah. But on that note,
ODYS.
NFG2022.com, 25th of September. How many people can come to this, Brad?
Probably cap it at 30. I want to keep it smaller this year.
You want to keep it at 30?
Yeah. 30. 30. I want to cap it at 30, yeah.
Like your birthday.
Because, I mean, with the workshop, I mean, it makes more sense to just have it smaller. So.
Yeah, we're actually just going to have people working and going out making money instead of like presentation type shit.
Yeah. The big thing is go here and get this, order this. This will make you around X amount a month. Now wash and repeat and keep doing this. So this is what I want people to go away from the event with it. So, and if they don't apply it after the event, then that's on them. So
SEO's SEO, money is real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Brian, I would assume that that's an interesting book, like Brad was saying, if it's about the business journey.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting.
But on that note, guys, thank you very much. And we'll catch you again next week.
Later on.